What is up guys, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're looking at some more r/slash entitled parents. If you do enjoy this content and you're one of the 39% who's not subscribed yet, why not consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell so you're updated when I post a video every single day, and consider hitting that like button if you enjoy the content of course. And with that being said, thank you so much for the time out of your day, and let's get straight into today's stories. Much love guys. Our first story is from Commit Kurt Cobain. Oh God. Single mum at Costco. So as you all know, people are freaking out about the coronavirus, so they're doing everything they can to get their hands on supplies to last the quarantine. My family decided that we're going to try to go to Costco today to get preparations for a couple of weeks of dinners and some other home essentials, like most others are doing. As we're walking around and picking up the supplies we need, I started to notice that the store was basically in chaos. People were hoarding items such as toilet paper, although Costco has limited the amount of rolls a single person can buy at a time. There were a few other people bickering back and forth about items, etc. It was kind of funny to see people acting so immature in a time of panic. My family and I took our groceries to the checkout line, as you do, and stood behind some woman and her two children. My dad and I started chuckling together about how much of a madhouse the grocery store was, when the woman standing in front of us whipped around and started shouting at us to keep our germs to ourselves. She had a stick up her ass about us being too close to her and her two children, and how we're spreading our germs. It was a bit strange, but understandable I suppose. When the woman in front of us finally got to the checkout counter, she started unpacking a good 10 to 15 packs of toilet paper, as well as her other food groceries to be scanned. As I mentioned earlier, Costco had put a limit of 1 pack of toilet paper per person, which meant that this woman would have to put all but 1 pack back where she found them. The cashier mentions this fact to the woman, and she replies by saying, "Well, I'm a single mum and I need these toilet papers for my family, so we don't have to come back out and get sick once the virus is spread more." To which the cashier replied, "I'm sorry ma'am, but being a single mum doesn't have any impact on the limit, so I'm going to have to ask you to please put the excess toilet paper back please." This woman was not having it. She had the audacity to start yelling at the cashier about how she should be respecting her because she works her ass off to maintain the peace of her family because her cheating, lying husband took all of her money when they divorced. While this is all going on, the line was getting very long and people were getting impatient. So the cashier calmly tells her to either pay and take her groceries, not including the toilet paper, or get out of the line. The woman reluctantly agrees and proceeds to hand the cashier her card. Before the cashier can complete the transaction, the woman asks the cashier if she can have a discount because she's a single mum and can't afford everything she put in her cart. Now, I've been standing in line for a good 20 minutes now and this really got on my nerves. I don't understand why people are so uncooperative, especially about things like this. Our next story is from Eraser Dust. Was just at the hospital to get my baby exposure prophylaxis for measles thanks to an ED going to baby's birthday party while sick. I'm still enraged as I type this. On Saturday, I took my 11-month-old to a baby's first birthday party. Today, I had a call from that kid's mum to inform me that her friend, adult male, who went to the party was diagnosed with measles. My baby was supposed to get an MMR next month, so she's still vulnerable. By the time I found out, I had less than 2 hours to get my baby exposure prophylaxis. So if she does get measles, it may lessen the damage. Had to deal with a stupid game of telephone to ask her friend's details like what time was he at the party, when symptoms appeared, etc. While calling up my doctor to figure out what to do because I don't have a car, so I'm not sure I should take a cab or public transport. When I got the timeline, I found out he had a sore throat on the morning of the party. During normal times, going to a baby's party while sick is a dick move. Right now, going out with corona symptom in Singapore, a country that does have COVID-19 outbreak, is a major arsehole move. So I have no idea why a birthday party is a big enough deal to go to while sick. Luckily, based on timing, yay for ride-sharing apps that help you figure out exactly when you've left. It looks like we were only in the same room for a few minutes and most likely didn't interact since I don't remember him at all. Given my daughter's age though, the doctor still insisted she get to the hospital ASAP to get the exposure prophylaxis to be safe. I was already in the isolation ward at the hospital, moments before the doctor would be returning to jab my baby, when I get a message from my friend telling me it's German measles, rubella. Yes, I know rubella is serious too, but not as serious as measles, so I would not have wasted previous resources going to the emergency room while there's a pandemic going on. I'm still shaking from adrenaline and rage right now. Such a clusterfuck of entitlement and stupidity. Damn, I'm apologising already if I got that exposure prophylaxis wrong. I hope I was saying that right during that story. Apologies if I didn't. Our next story is from Pseudonym. Mum blows up at Disney cast member, gets VIP seats to nothing. I was told to share this here. I work at an Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, or Epic as it was known to the cast members, and we already closed the theatre for the start of the show. When a theatre gets to max capacity, we legally can't put any more people in there because of fire code, etc. This woman barrels up to me, gets within 6 inches of my face and waves her paper fast track ticket in my face. She demanded to be allowed into the show and screams that her child, a little boy, no more than 6-year-old, needs to see this show or his day is ruined. She was screaming so loud, veins were popping out the front of her head. I stood there, calm and collected, explaining to her that the theatre is full and we can't let anyone else in. She pushes past me with one arm, holding her child's arm in the other. She marches straight for the rope that blocks the entrance and tries to hoist her son over the rope. Before she gets that far, a manager walks up and puts his hand in the air to try and contain the situation. He offers to get the kid an ice cream and provide VIP seats to the next show if she calms down and comes back later. After screaming about how rude I was to her, which I was not, she accepts the token of kindness. My manager turns to me and asks me how long my shift is today. I told him I was off work at 6:30. He nods and tells the irate woman that he will have me personally escorted to the VIP section down front. He writes her a ticket voucher for the ice cream and seats, and she fumed off with not even a thank you. My manager turns to me and apologises on behalf of her. Then he asks me, how many more shows do we have today? I look at the clock and realised it was after 5 PM and well in the middle of our last show of the day. I looked at my manager as a sly smile crept across his face. He had just given an entitled parent a VIP pass to a show that won't happen. The respect I already had for him just skyrocketed through the roof. I was long gone by the time she came back, but I would love to imagine the look on her face when she came back at 7 for the last show. Kid got an ice cream and mum got mad. It was win-win. What an epic manager. The manager that we all need. Our next story is from Wanderluster's Wander. Kid tries to knock me off and steal my shared e-scooter ride. Racist entitled mother pulls her "This is America" card to defend him. Man, do I have a story for you. Sorry for the weird mobile formatting. Also sorry for the long post. I live near Washington DC, so naturally take all visiting friends and family on tour of the monuments. The best way to do this, in my opinion at least, is on the city shared e-scooters. It was a particularly busy weekend and all the scooters with any charge left on them were taken. Me and my visiting friends were waiting by the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial, keeping an eye out for any available rides, when a group of 5 rolled up and parked their scooters. We walked up to them as they were logging off and leaving and asked them if we could take them. We were a group of 4, so we only needed 4 scooters. We logged into our Skip scooter app profiles and linked our payment methods to our respective rides when Karen, EM and her son EK ran up to the last available scooter and grabbed it. Quite defensively, I might add. We thought nothing of it as EK was about 7 to 8 and really quite small, so I assumed they would ride on it together. We were discussing which monument to see next, or standing there with our rides between our legs and connected to our phones, payments already going through, when EM asked EK to ask us for one. We figured they probably thought we were stopping, and when EK came up to my friend group, we told him we already just started our ride, so sorry, hopefully you'll find one soon. We had to wait 20 minutes to find these. Yes, unnecessary extra words, but we were outgoing, happy, and generally excited to get a move on our tours. EM says, "Ugh, can't you just share and give us one? If you have to wait 20 minutes, you surely can't expect a single mother to wait that long, right?" What? I just said sorry, there are loads of people around and I'm sure you can find another one soon. Plus, we've already linked our credit cards. Sorry. EM said, "So what? You can just ask them to refund you. I'm sure they have cameras or something. Just share. My son has never ridden one and wants it." My friend says, "No, sorry, that's not how it works. Good luck though." And all of us say sorry. We just share a look and start directing our rides to go in the same direction. We took a few steps and started our scooters, going really slow in the heavy crowd. All of a sudden, I feel something hit me really hard and knock me off balance, taking me down with my scooter. I'm a loud person, so naturally a little loud scream comes out of me and I hear someone say, "Oh, shut up." The scooter is still between my legs, but I'm on the floor in a sitting position, and I look up to see EM bending over me. EK was beside me, also on the floor. My friend runs up and says, "What the fuck? Why did you do that? Are you okay? Is everything okay? What happened?" EK grabbed the handle of my scooter, which was pressed against my stomach, and grabbed my sweater with it too, probably unintentionally, so when I felt him tug, almost ripping my sweater, I slapped his hand away and said, "Don't," just to have him start crying. A really loud, piercing cry, really kind of weird for a kid his age. EM said, "Don't you dare fucking yell at my child, you bitch. How dare you? You come to our country and try to take everything from us, you fucking freeloader. Well, this is America and we own that scooter. That's my son's scooter, you bitch. We pay taxes so he can use that scooter." I should have mentioned, I look very obviously Indian, and 2 out of the 3 other girls were also South Asian. We do not speak with an accent and have lived in the US for a very long time. My friend and I are stunned and honestly don't understand what just happened. I said, "What? What the fuck are you talking about? Did you hit me?" EM said, "My son was running beside you, trying to ask to give him your scooter, you thieving slut. This is America, you can't do this here." EM grabs my scooter too. "Give it and get out." My friend, very calmly, "Mom, I suggest you take your hands off her immediately. This is assault and we will have you arrested. We're literally in a public place and have multiple witnesses. Stop freaking out now." EM replies, "Yeah, call the cops, call them, I'll have you all deported. This is America, you are stealing." I said, "Hello, you are literally stealing from me. I've paid for this service. You can take the scooter, let me log off so you can't use the money." EM said, "No, it's time you people paid your dues. EK, pull harder now, you will pay, you will." Other friends literally pushed EM off me and started yelling at her to back off, and we're calling the cops. Fortunately, it seemed like someone else had already called them, someone from the crowd around us, we have no idea who, and 3 officers came up to us after about 3 to 4 more minutes of this back and forth, with me still on the ground because EM and her kid would not give me enough space to get up and untangle my legs and clothes from the scooter. They walked up to speak to us and literally told her to calm down, stop screaming, shut up, stop screaming. More cops show up, frisk all of us except the child, and finally I'm able to untangle myself while she is still mumbling about us freeloading. The cop asks us if we're okay, asks me if I need medical attention, did she hit me, am I in need of any help, etc. They pulled the groups aside, separated us from EM and EK, listened to me explain, take statements and our contact details, apologise on her behalf in front of her, and immediately asked us to leave if we would like to, and tell us that there is nothing more to do here. They held EM and EK back, and we had no idea what they were doing with them, but the 2 cops walked me and my friends to the end of the park and talk about how crazy she is, and tell us that they realised she was inebriated almost immediately. She smelled booze, and we had not realised because of all the excitement. She was drunk, in public, in broad daylight, with her child. They said not to worry about it, and we went on our way. No one was really hurt, just shook up, and I'm so happy it didn't ruin my day with my visiting friends. The story will always go down as the Karen who assaulted us, and we laugh about it all the time. I'm absolutely certain we could have taken her if she got violent, so we're not really at risk, just shocked. Oh, imagine taking out a young child like that while you're pissed up, man. I bet the cops took the child away as well, because they probably didn't have much choice on the matter. Absolutely insane. Our next story is from PVT Blith. EM leaves child on my doorstep. I work in a preschool and sometimes babysit kids from work, especially when we're on break. Because of coronavirus, we're cancelled. Because my sister has a disability and is immunocompromised, my whole family agreed to go into self-isolation. Thankfully, most of us can work from home. We would limit our contact with all others, even other family members, to protect my sister. I was playing outside in the driveway with my brothers when a familiar car pulls up, and one of the little girls, let's call her Susie, from the preschool gets out of the car. I've babysat her many times before, but never agreed to on this occasion. I assumed the mum was going to ask me to watch her, but when I approached the car, she speeds off, leaving poor Susie there. I had not made any previous arrangements to watch her, and didn't want to let her into my house, knowing her father is a frequent flyer, and Susie may be a carrier. I got her some water and let her sit down in the garage to get her out the wind, as I tried calling her mum and dad. Neither picked up at first, until I finally got hold of a very angry mum. I explained I couldn't watch Susie, and she'd have to come back and pick her up. The mum freaked out, saying she was already at work. This is a total lie. She works at a mall that I know for a fact is closed because of coronavirus. I tell her that if she doesn't return within half hour, how far the mall is from my house, I would be calling CPS. She knows we are mandatory reporters because we already had to open a case on her. She explains that she can't, but she says she will send her husband. 15 minutes passes and then 30. I get Susie some chalk to colour with while maintaining a distance but trying to keep her happy. An hour later, I know no one is coming to get her. I phone CPS and a non-emergency police line, and the police arrive at my house in a couple of minutes. I explain to them the whole situation, and thankfully, a CPS worker is able to get there pretty quickly. The mum phones me later and yells at me for Susie being taken by CPS and them having another investigation, saying I always watch Susie during break. I explain my immunocompromised sister, and she is very offended. I even suggested Susie might be sick. I didn't even bother to explain how she could be a carrier without showing symptoms. EM claims she won't be returning Susie to our preschool because of my appalling and disrespectful behaviour, but I know that she's been kicked out of all other preschools. I wouldn't mind if EM never came back, but I would certainly feel bad for little Susie. I'll try to remember to update this post when school is back in session. Stay safe and healthy, y'all. Anyway guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for being here today. As always, the time out of your day means the absolute world to me. Thank you for being here, really is much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Much love now, take care of yourself.